Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Gifted Gaming Podcast. And this week, if you've ever wondered how on earth that game got the score it did, why people like it so much, well, sometimes we at the Gifted Gaming Podcast, we think that too. This week, it's Overrated Games. All right, it's me, it's your host, Darren Wade, and today I am joined by Craig, the Critical Nolan. Craig, how are you?
How you doing, Darren?
And, of course, my own blood and brother, Andrew Wade. Andrew, it's been a while since you've been on the pod. How are you?
Oh, good. Thanks for having me again.
Of course, yeah, a pleasure, absolute pleasure. As is tradition, guys, I do have to ask, and it'll be good, Andrew, you haven't been here for a while, so what games, Andrew, have you been playing?
Two, mainly. Helldivers, because, my God. Deep into that, and don't judge me, but Fortnite.
Okay.
You obviously have a PlayStation account then, huh?
Huh?
Because you're able to play Helldivers still. You have like the PlayStation Network thing. Is that a big,
that was
massive
only for PC though. Once you have PlayStation, you're grand anyway because you have to have PSN
so I'll be
to
fine
get online.
if I want to buy it, I'm okay.
Yeah, you're
okay.
okay.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah.
I was raging as well because we did the news episode. It was our last one, I think, the last episode that we did. And we always try to put it as close to the end of the month as possible so we don't get lose out on loads of big headlines. Literally the day after, Kingdom Hearts movie announced, Helldivers goes to shit, Xbox becomes the worst Microsoft becomes the worst video game company out there. I was like, fuck.
That all happened overnight.
Within a
Pretty
couple
much
of days.
days.
And what did Microsoft do?
Oh, you're not here.
No.
So you know the way they're into buying lots of things about Activision and Bethesda and stuff like that? And it's so funny, man. I've watched so many videos of people being like, these guys are such assholes, because in their video when they announced all the companies that they bought, and they even talk about the team that developed Fable back in the day, and we're like, and we closed, the Fable offices or the Fable company, whatever. We realized we made mistakes, and we said we're going to learn from them. So we've reopened this, and we're going to do it again. They just announced the closures of so many things.
They just backtracked on all of that.
Hi-Fi Rush, which sold incredibly well, was so well received. Tango is the name of their company. They just closed them down. They just said, no. And Hi-Fi Rush didn't do bad. It did well. It did really well. It sold really well. They were like, no, we're just going to close this company. And I was fuckers, absolute fuckers. So there's so many videos out there of them being like, hey, we're a family here at Xbox, and we're here to look after all these people.
Jesus.
I can't wait to get Luke and Chris on to do that, because Luke
That's
for
awesome.
sure. Yeah. Luke
Although I was actually going to put the Fable series as one of my overrated game series, as I think Fable sucks.
Fair. Well, I suppose that's as good a segue as any, Craig. Here this week on the Gifted Gamer Podcast, we're going to look at the games that we think are maybe a little, maybe a lot overrated. That's really bad English, actually, I just realized there. But we're going to talk about overrated games. Games that have done really well that we're just like, how or why? I don't get it. And Craig, do you want to kick us off with Fable? Was that actually on your list?
No, that wasn't actually on my list. It's just you mentioned the studio, and I went, you know what? Fable? That was a shit game. But a lot of people went on and on about it like it was brilliant, and it was good that you could buy all the houses and upgrade your properties and stuff like that. But you could clear a Fable game in less than 10 hours.
I really enjoyed it.
You know?
I'm one of those people who would have rated it over.
But it's one of those games where all you're doing is raising money to buy all the houses, and you're not actually playing the game, really. You're just kind of doing the excess nonsense that isn't really a big part of the game.
Well, you might not have to worry about it ever coming back, because Xbox just closed that studio
Well, that's good, because I wouldn't pay 60 quid for a 10-hour game. Like, that just drives me crazy. But yeah, I'll start off with a bang, an even bigger bang than hating Fable, and I'm just going to put down every 2D Mario ever. I think every 2D Mario ever, with the exception of maybe Super Mario Bros. 3 / Super Mario Bros. World, although I don't know why both exist, but I like that one does, and the other one is...
They're very different games.
You run left to right, and you do a wall jump every now and then.
Wait, you're not including the original ones on the NES and SNES in this as well, are you?
Well, they're terrible. The Super Mario Bros. 3 puts all them to shame, and then the Super Mario Bros. World game puts all the Super Nintendo versions to shame. And then there shouldn't have been any more after that. But because there's a handheld market, Nintendo milked it for all it was worth and came out with new Super Mario Brothers, new Luigi Brothers, new blah, blah, blah. And every single year, it just got overdone with this one game, which was good back then, but every other iteration of, including Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I'm sure the fucking Nintendo directors just sat in the room all day scratching their ass and was just like, you know what? Let's make him an elephant. Let's make him an elephant this time. We haven't done an elephant. And they're like, genius. Oh my God. You know, like fucking get over it. Like it's the same game every time, except the power-ups are just slightly different. To the point where like they even made a game which proved that they don't take any time in making these games. Super Mario Brothers Maker makes every 2D Mario game pointless and just shows how easy it is to make them. Because when the Wii came out, they had a new Super Mario Brothers at launch. When the Wii U came out, they had a new Super Mario Brothers at launch, but it was always the 2D bullshit Mario Brothers that clearly takes only a few months to make, and they just don't know, or they just don't want to admit that that's how long it takes to make these games. Because anyone who's played Super Mario Brothers Maker can make a game in a day or two, maybe 2, maybe 3, and Nintendo have went and told us that to our faces and still have the gall to make these two Mario games.
It's such a hot take. Like I'm with you. I'm with you on some of the things you're saying for sure.
And Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario Brothers World are the exception to this. For me, they're the ones that every other is based off of. Yeah. And they're all just carbon copies of.
I'm so glad you said that, because had you would included them, I would have had to taken you outside to fight, because they are...
That would have been a 2 versus 1 fight as well.
They are exceptionally good. Exceptionally, I mean, I'm still playing 3 now, because you can see, I think, it's a long time ago, development cycles were very different, but I can see by playing through regularly and finding out all the secrets that exist in Super Mario Bros. 3 that there's a huge amount of love and care and attention that's gone into that game. And I would say the same for World, because it's massive. It's a huge game, really, compared to a lot of the other 2D ones. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, I played Wonders. I really liked Wonders.
But in Wonders, when you're running left to right, is the background a blue screen with a couple of pipes thrown in?
No, they have, in fairness to Wonders, the backgrounds, because you can move between the foreground and the background in that game as well. They tend to have it all quite well detailed. I would give...
But then that's the first, because on all the other ones, it's a plain blue screen that looks identical no matter what level you do. And Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze, and the 2D Donkey Kong games showed immediately how bad every 2D Mario game was, because every single background had like, I don't know, apes swinging from trees. Like they were interactive backgrounds with stuff happening. And as you went through the level, like chaos was going on in the background. Like it was part of the environment. It felt alive. Whereas Mario, you run left to right and nothing changes at all until maybe Super Mario Brothers Wonder. But I haven't invested in that because the series is dead to me.
And I don't think Super Mario Brothers Wonders has that level of kind of detail in the background. Like there's lots of nice, pretty things to look at, but it's not exactly overly interactive or entertaining. It's just kind of there. I'm still in shock. It's because we haven't even had time to warm up over Overrated games.
I know, sorry, I dropped the bomb. You kind of like were like, Craig, what do you got? And I was like, I'll show you.
I was like, I wonder, is Craig going to like lay into me on a
I was going to end with that one, but I just got hot-headed and I had to. But Super Mario Brothers Maker does put all of those games to the back shelf. They're no longer relevant ever. You could throw them all in the bin. You know, none of them need to ever be
with the exception of Brothers 3 and World, right?
And I guess Wonder, because there's an elephant power-up, which they didn't think to put that in those previous games.
Yeah.
But until Mario Maker 3, when they put the elephant power-up in, then that's still got a little bit of relevance, I guess.
I am with you. Oh, God. I'm kind of... Just bear with me here. I'm just going to check what the Metacritic on Super Mario Brothers Wii U was.
Or new Luigi Brothers, or new Mario Brothers Wii, or new Nintendo.
There
must be at least 10 of them that are, the names are completely interchangeable. Like,
you change a letter here and there, and there you go. There's your new title.
I know IGN gave them all a 7.9.
Just it's like not quite the 8 you're looking for, but
yeah, that's what they're
87 on new Super Mario Brothers Wii. And what about Wii U?
87. Can you imagine an 87 for a game that clearly took 6 months? Because the Wii U launched with fuck all games, so they panicked and went, what can we make in 6 months? I don't know.
Mario.
A 2D Mario, because we have the blueprints right here.
Yeah.
And we've already made Mario Maker, and all we have to do is put these little bits together.
It's funny that I never would have chosen the 2D Mario ones. They always hold such a warm place in my heart. And I say I mean a small set of them. Brothers 3 and Super Mario World being like 2 of my favorite games, and one that I play like, you know, twice annually with Danny without fail, you know. But I never really thought of like, oh, you know, I always know that this new Super Mario Brothers Wii and Wii U exists, Wonders is out, and I never give them much thought because I always say to myself, they're going to be popular games. We had the discussion when it came to the Game Awards. We were like, I hope Wonders doesn't make it anywhere in there because it shouldn't.
Yeah,
you know,
we
versus
were
what
of
it
that
is.
opinion.
And that's the first time I thought about that. But I definitely, I'm glad you excluded Brothers 3 and World, but they aren't. 87 for this game isn't like, I look at some other 87s on Metacritic and I'd be like, how the fuck is Super Mario?
87 on Metacritic is an amazing score.
Yeah,
that's a brilliant game. None of those games are brilliant.
No.
None of the 2D Mario Brothers games are brilliant.
And
none of them.
a lot of fun, I would say, especially for the fact that this one was a 4-player multiplayer one. I could understand how that could be like a family fun game, but it's not an 87.
No,
it's not an 87.
Well, 87. It shouldn't even be charged. Like if your €60 is your price tag for a game, those games at launch should be half price.
Craig, you really had to just start us off so heavy there. I was like,
so violently, yeah. Getting everyone riled up.
Slap everyone in
oh
the
my
face with that
God.
one right off the bat.
But a lot of people use nostalgia too much in how they review things or how they look back, and I'm like, you have to take that, and like for me, you can take, if it's great music, if it's something visual that you remember, that's fine, but it can't be a carbon copy.
Yeah.
You know, like we all know every Pokemon game is worse than the previous one. At least acknowledge that, you know.
Yeah.
Like with Mario, we don't do it, but with Nintendo, with Pokemon, we're like, oh god, those bastards.
Yeah,
but like,
just do what the last one did.
it's
It
the
was much
same
better.
thing.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. No, that's a totally reasonable take that I've never considered. Mario never even crossed my head at all to put on this list because I was like, Mario's a great game.
Sometimes I go, what's the best thing? Okay.
Oh, shit on that.
I hate that so much. Anything else you want to say on 2D Mario games being overrated?
No, I think that covers it, and it's mainly just it's because once you see Mario Maker, you realize how easy it is.
Yeah.
Because they've had those tools for a long time, and they chose now to share those tools with us. So now we know, and still people think it's great. Like, you know?
Oh, you're so right. You're so right. I can't argue with that. Andrew, I'm quite interested to see what you consider as a game that's overrated.
I've got a couple, but I think one would have to be, and I love this game myself to play, but Destiny. Destiny gets so much hype for it.
I
but
thought it was you who was always hyping that.
I have not hyped Destiny in a very long time. I did. I did. I
You did, yeah.
I
You
did. No,
definitely
I
did.
100% did. No, like I think
Craig, we can all learn from our ways. It's
Yeah.
fine. Like, you know.
all of us can change, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like Destiny now is like it gets so much hype every time the new trailer for the new DLCs pop out. Everyone's going, "Oh, it's amazing!" It's like it's just the same stuff again, but you're going to charge us the same price of the game again, and then lock us out of all the thing until we buy it. So it's just like releasing the same game and charging the same price, and release the same game and charge the same price. It's just like
One of the, I think it might have been Destiny 2 came out as part of the PlayStation Plus Extra, possibly. I think I remember downloading to be like, you know what, maybe I'll give this Destiny thing a crack. And I turned it on, and I, much like you're saying there in terms of overhyped, I couldn't understand what people loved about it so much. I got into a couple of games, and I was like, this is fun.
The online was really slow to take off as well.
it was.
I got it at launch with my PlayStation 4, so I was really revving to go, and I'd say I played about 10 hours of Destiny. That's it. I didn't
the
like
story for it was very good if you follow the story missions, but then what happened is you'd need to play it online with people to get past certain ones like that as well. And
Peter Dinklage was in it, right?
that was great. No, that was great, and he was in it, and then he just vanished into the ether, and all of a sudden you got a new voice talking in your ear, kind of. That isn't.
Oh,
I
his
don't like this
budget
as much.
expired. The season 5 of Game of Thrones began, and he was like, "I'm out of
Yeah,
here."
I have no time for
That's
this.
all
I
I
gotta
got.
go. But yeah, no, it's a great game, and it was a great game. But I mean, the first one was great. First one was amazing, really good, and then there was a couple of DLCs come out for it. The second one, every DLC cost the same as the base game.
Well, that was the part, I think my first thought on it was when I got Destiny 2 and I started it without any of the DLC. I hadn't purchased any of the DLC, and I started playing it. I was like, I don't really get this. But then there was whatever the most recent DLC came out, whatever it was, and I was like, oh, I wonder how long. And they said, oh, it is quite a long thing, but it was, again, was it 50, 60 euro? Listeners, correct me if I'm wrong. Email us at thegiftofgamepodcast@gmail.com for making fools of ourselves. But I was actually being like, no, I don't want to get into something that's going to cost me. Like and again, I suppose there are different kinds of games. When I look at Final Fantasy 14 and the DLC, I would always consider paying for that because it's like everything. It's all like new things, new classes, new whatever. But Destiny, I was like, no, it's still going to be a first-person shooter with very little deviation. I know I'm sure there's going to be Destiny fans out there listening, being like, well, you don't know the intricacies of the game, and it's true. I didn't give it a whole lot of time, but I think the fact that people are raving about it, and I turned it on, and within a couple of hours, I was like, no.
But that thing is like I've played it, and Destiny fans can murder me for this one as well. But I mean, I jumped on there fairly recently because like that was going on. PlayStation Network was going for free. Figured, oh yeah, no, I'll jump on that and play it. And one of my mates, Sean, was playing it as well. I said, no, you should definitely get in. It's a lot of fun. I jumped in, and about 10 minutes into it, we were playing, and he walked into a building, and it wouldn't let me in. No explanation given, nothing. I was trying to figure out, I was like, is it a glitch? I was like, no, I just didn't have the DLC for that building.
Yeah, that's bad.
I was like, oh, come on. Do
There's
you
only
want this?
games
It's only
better.
€60. I was like, no, I'm deleting this. I'm done. But
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, God, this is amazing. It's fantastic. And you get this, you can do this, you get this. It's like, I'm not paying the base price 6 times over to play it. It's like, no, because you just lock out, everything gets locked out, and everyone's going, oh, it's amazing if you get the DLC. It's like,
Which I wouldn't necessarily. That's an entire reason to shit on a game, because lots of MMO or MMO games have that model where you kind of have to, we're going to have DLC so you can keep playing. But I mean, the game in its first instance has to kind of pull you, and Destiny, for all the love it had online, in no way, shape, or form did it like gravitate towards me. I was like, no, this is just a very basic first-person shooter game that I can play online. And the annoying thing was, when I was playing online, the amount of times in that short time that I played it that I got kicked, or there was a connection issue, or I couldn't get into a game. I was like, no. I'm like, games are meant to be fun, and I am having zero fun trying to play this game that people are raving
what's your
about.
experience? I'm sitting in a waiting room waiting to play the game that I pay all this money for, and I can't get into it.
Thankfully, I didn't pay any money to get Destiny 2. I think it was part of the subscription things for PlayStation. So thankfully, I avoided that. But yeah, Destiny 2 or Destiny as a whole is a fair.
Yeah,
fair game.
like I said, the first one good and enjoyed it, and that was the one I was always trying to get. Oh, everyone should play it. It's really good, and it was. And then the second one came out, and it's just like, how much can we milk the audience for it to get as much money out of this as possible? I was like, apparently quite a lot. So I'm done.
My first one is I hope it's not going to be too controversial. I hope people will understand where I'm coming from. I got a 97 on Metacritic. And I'm going to talk
You're
about
going to
this
say
specific.
Ocarina of Time, are you?
No, God, no. I love that game. No, I'm not an idiot. No, yeah. Andrew backing out of the room.
I gotta go.
No, mine is GTA 5 with a specific focus on GTA 5 online. I have no idea. I don't understand how it is made.
Just so you know, GTA 5 Online came out like a month or 6 weeks after GTA 5 did. So the reviews were already out for the game. So every review of GTA 5 is as though online doesn't exist.
But people go... So GTA 5 Online has existed, and the reason GTA 5 came out on the next... I mean, it's been across 3 generations of console. That's not because of the base
But it came
game.
out for PS3, you
Yeah.
gotta remember.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, the reason it's still coming out and the reason they didn't make another one is because online was so successful and so popular and making them so much money. And I don't know how. So I played that game a little bit when it first came out in the online, and GTA 5 didn't grab me like the previous ones did. That's not a fault of the game. I could understand how the game could be considered good, but I was like, no, I'm not. It hasn't grabbed me the way, and 4 didn't grab me at all. 4 I didn't like. But
4
like,
is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You should have
4 is
definitely
awful.
focused on 4. How dare you focus on 5?
so
What is 4? 4 doesn't exist.
So when I played online, I was like, this is fine. Now, granted, when it was first released, there wasn't a whole lot there to do. But we played, during COVID, Andrew, you, me, and Graham played Red Dead Redemption 2 online. And we played pretty much everything we could play on Red Dead Redemption 2 online. And we were like, oh, that was so good. What will we do next? And then Kieran was like, hey, anyone want to revisit GTA 5 online? I was like, well, I've just had a blast playing this Rockstar game. This GTA 5 online should be good. I went on, and it was one of the most infuriating gaming experiences I've had in a long time. The griefing is out of this world.
Oh, insane.
What is?
The griefing.
Griefing. So like,
what
as in,
is that?
it's
Sorry.
where other people, online players, they're just hellbent on ruining your time
So
in the game.
to give you an example of one of the prime ones, because I played it a lot currently, and one of the main ones for this is you get this hover bike that you pay for that basically lets you fly around at supersonic speeds and rocket people. But you can rocket people while they're doing their own missions. So you can lock them out of everything. So you
I
just follow
couldn't
someone.
do.
So
we
it
couldn't do
rewards
anything.
toxic players.
It really
Basically,
does,
yeah.
yeah. And we're like a 4. Like, and it's funny because I would consider it made me feel old as well. I'd consider myself a person who might not be an expert at any game, but can get to grips with games quite quickly. And I was playing 5 online, and you open up your mobile phone in game, and there's a million things you have to try and understand. And we were all in a chat together, and it was like, no, Darren, I'm going to invite you to this. None of us could figure it out, and we're not idiots. Like, we play a lot of video games. But while I was in there doing the things that you meant to do, your heists, you go for your races through the city, whatever, all the different options that were available, it was such a toxic experience, and that I couldn't. And it'd be like, "Hey, Darren, we just got to the point. We'll meet you there." And I'm like, "I'm doing my best, but I get murdered every 5 minutes on my way to because players are like, oh, this is so funny." There's nothing I could do about it. And we even left servers to join other servers in the hopes that, and I understand, you know, I even got a massive kick out of the fact that there was loads of people who got into like the role play style of GTA 5 Online, where they made characters and they were streamers and they streamed them being that character in that game as if it was real. That kind of stuff was quite funny and whatever else, but those were specific servers that you had to get like specifically invited to, and I don't stream, and I was never going to get invited into like a friendly, what seemed like a very fun way to play that game. So I was like,
and I think we had the thing as well, is like we were creating our own lobbies where it was like private ones, and none of us could enter the lobbies.
We had kicked and it was none of it worked, and the problem was that it's not a game that I'm willing to spend money on, and it's a game that you really can pay to win.
Oh,
like the whole game.
Imagine
just,
so.
Yeah.
There's so
not many games have been online that long, like, you know.
Yeah,
that game came out like 15 years ago, like, and it's still going.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think because I played it, I think actually just towards the end of it when we were all playing it, I think you guys had left out of sheer frustration. I wasn't far behind you as well, but I remember going onto it and joined the lobby, and there's just 3 lads all on a team rampaging around in tanks, murdering. They were just hunting down players and murdering them. So as soon as you walked outside,
and I wouldn't mind that if it was something that you could then say, haha, that was funny, okay, I don't want this to happen anymore, but you couldn't stop it. Like, that's unless you left, unless
Do
you
you not
stopped
think
playing.
maybe like just the player base, that's all that's left after this amount of time? Because any normal person who enjoys a video game is not going to play it for 15 years straight. Like,
Well, that's
you know?
that's the
They're
thing that
going
I've
to
got
just play it for a couple of months and be like, I'm going to move on to the next game. It's
I-
only the crazy.
don't know.
It's the
Going
crazy.
to stick around, you know.
there is a definite majority of crazies on it versus people who want to play
Well,
it just
like,
for the sake of playing it.
in
Like,
my
But is that not
experience-
kind of fair? Because, I mean, after the first, say, 3 or 4 years, they could have just shut down the servers completely and like, yeah, it's done, that's it.
oh, the money.
Well, no, it's making
off,
them way
though.
too much
Yeah.
money. Making them
Like,
way too much money.
If you imagine, I think for the tanks, I think they're like, if you basically pay to get like effectively a credit card, it's like a shark card in the game.
Yeah, that's
and
what
that's
we're called,
how
yeah.
much money you can have to spend then on actual items in the game. So you spend loads of money, real money, to get this card, to pay it to get like buy a house or what everyone does, buy tanks, Apache helicopters, and Hydra jump jets, and then just murder the shit out of people.
For me, it was a game that if you're not willing to pay real life money after you've already paid for the game, you're not going to have a fun time playing online. And for me, that a game or a game mode like that just stinks. And anybody who tells me it's good, I refuse to agree, because it was one of those things that even after so many years of updates, and hats off to them, Rockstar have, at the cost of Red Dead Redemption 2, they kept going with GTA 5 Online and kept developing it. Hats off. You kept everybody there, but you kept the worst people there, and you made it so unfun for people. It's like for new people who were just like, I want to go around and do a heist with my friends. It's like, nope.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Like the worst one was, I think the one of the last heist ones you had to do is you had to drive this monstrosity of a truck with the full trailer. You get it all the way across the map, but as soon as you hop in it, it pings your location to everybody in the server, and you could not play the game in a private server. It had to be done in an open one, public.
Get you, yeah.
And as soon as you hop in it, you can hear the roar of the engines of the jets that are coming towards you at high speed, and you couldn't do a thing about it. And it costs so much in-game money to start this. But if you got destroyed, all that money's gone. You have to get it up again before you can do it again.
Hot take, GTA 5 shit.
See, that's where I'm spinning back to. Everything you guys are talking about is just added extra stuff that you didn't have to play and wasn't even considered as part of the review score. Like the very first thing you mentioned.
No.
No.
So sorry, and that might be based off the game, but I'm talking about GTA 5 Online is considered amazing, and I'm like, by who?
Is it?
By who
Yeah,
and why?
it is, yeah.
But I mean, it has to be. It's been around for so long.
Well, GTA 5 is definitely amazing and should rightfully be considered amazing. But GTA 5 Online is just a little small subpart attached to that game that is completely optional.
But it's not. I mean,
like it's not its own game. It's not GTA 5 Online.
It became its own monster, I would say, in its own, because I mean, it's been around for so long. But so I should say, right, GTA 5, great game. GTA 5 Online that people love and adore and support so much. Why?
Yeah,
it's crap.
I get it.
Because it's a toxic playground. Like, people just love being toxic.
Yeah. Craig, what, you got any more fucking wild takes for me while we're here?
I've some wild ones that would I need to settle us down though now. So now let's just go on to say a series that I absolutely loved, and it similar to say Lost or Game of Thrones, the very ending. you know, after a while you go, I think these guys are fucking making this shit up as they go along, you know? And that for me, the first time that happened, I think, was with the Metal Gear Solid series, because I played Metal Gear Solid 1 and, in fact, Metal Gear Solid 2. And even though it was cryptic as fuck, especially Metal Gear Solid 2, I was always like, no, it all makes sense when you put it together, when you think about the law, the lile low and all this type of shit. And I was always like watching every cutscene and like even back then going on the Game Facts and trying to find out what it all means. But then by the time Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, I went,
Oh, my God.
You guys were lying this whole time. You had no fucking clue what the hell you were talking about at any point during the making of these games. You just wanted things to be dramatic, and that's where you drew the line. And everything, even during all these 1 hour long cutscenes, they're spouting complete and utter bollocks that makes no sense.
Could you imagine being the
doesn't
VAs?
matter at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm like, I can't believe you guys like in the first game it was fair enough. The third game was brilliant because it cut out all that bullshit. It was just a spy story like in the 60s, and you beat the bad guys, you know, and it was just self-contained. But Metal Gear Solid 4, it's got to be one of the most disappointing games I've ever played. And like,
It was just one long cutscene.
yeah, I mean, you could argue
like,
that big time. But I mean, like they said at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, and this is spoilers, sorry, the game's been out for fucking years, and I need to be able to talk about it properly to vent. You know,
By all means, fire away.
At the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, it's Ocelot betraying everyone, and Fortune like is about to vaporize everyone with her fucking gun, but then Ocelot shoots her in the heart. You know, and then it was just like, you thought you were being protected? That was actually this gizmo, right? And he has this thing on his belt that basically protects him from bullets. That was essentially protecting her all this time. Okay, but then in the next sequence, she gets back on her feet and she's like, no, I will defeat you. And then Ocelot starts shooting at her. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the bullets start deflecting again. So it's just like, wait a minute. So it wasn't the technology that was protecting her? I thought you just said that that's what was happening. But no, by pure coincidence, she also has that magical ability as well to deflect fucking bullets. Like, I was just like, what are you doing? You can't just keep doing this. And then at the end as well, like, it was Ocelot's voice. But then when Solid Snake showed up, all of a sudden, you heard Liquid's voice again, and it was Cam Clark, an amazing voice actor, and he's like, brothers, it's great to see you all again. It was me controlling Ocelot all along. And I'm like, oh my God, like Liquid's my favorite villain. I can't believe it. He's back. And then Metal Gear Solid 4 starts, and there's no mention of Liquid. like that voice is gone.
Yeah.
Cam Clark's voice is gone now, and it's just Ocelot's voice. But he's saying he's Liquid, but it's Ocelot's voice for no reason whatsoever. Even though at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, it was clearly Liquid Snake had taken over. But the success of Metal Gear Solid 3 meant, no, you know, I've changed my mind. We're gonna make it that it was Ocelot the whole time. And so Metal Gear Solid 4 begins, and it's just Ocelot for the entire game. And you're old for no reason, and like they don't explain anything, and they just have cows that are robots and stuff like that, and they just keep throwing so much stupid shit at you that you have to eventually go, no, this is bad. This is not a good game. And even now I'm playing like Death Stranding just because I'm like, you know what?
Did you go back to it?
No, not after Rebirth. I can go back.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
You know, that was just a time sink, and I'm done. And that game is also shit. But Metal Gear Solid 4 is when I lost all faith in the Metal Gear Solid series. But then I love Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, and it's
because it's got the least amount of dialogue out of all of them. Like,
yeah,
you know?
it's just so much fun. And the sad thing about Metal Gear Solid 4 for me is it's so like the storyline is so stupid, and they just carried us along for nothing because none of it mattered anyway. But I really enjoyed some of the gameplay bits in 4, and I was like, oh, it bothers me that I can't enjoy these things because none of what's happening matters anymore. You know? Yeah. That's a reasonable one. I don't, you know, thank you for leveling us out again because you started off strong. It's a more reasonable, overrated game.
I thought that was much more acceptable. But like you look at Metal Gear Solid 4, I think it still would probably have in the 90s in terms of like how good it's considered. But that and Metal Gear Solid 2 were absolute shit shows in terms of storytelling and just video game design.
I'm just checking out Metal Gear Solid 4 now.
Metal Gear
Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots 94.
Ugh. Like that's outrageous.
That's
outrageous. Probably in the top 100 video games of all time, and it's a piece of shit.
Wow, I didn't expect it to be that good. It did better than the Phantom Pain. Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't do better than Metal Gear Solid 2 though. That's that's a much better game. Andrew, what have you got for us? Hit me with another overrated game.
All right, I'm going to drop this one, and then I'm going to make a break for the door. How quickly can I open it here before you guys get me?
Swear to God, if you say... What are you going to say?
You're saying overrated, so this should be good.
Okay, so this is...
but it means a lot to us, apparently.
Admit that it's overrated, Andy.
No, this is just my opinion. This is a game that everyone was kind of saying was amazing and stuff, and I went to give it a go, and I just did not see where the hype was coming from. And I know I'm going to get shot when I say Breath of the Wild.
Nope. You're not going to get shot by me.
I can, similar to the 3D Mario games, the Zelda games, I'm like, they're definitely not for everyone.
I played the original Zelda games up until Ocarina of Time, I think, because I remember our friend Kieran.
But would you say Ocarina of Time is also overrated?
I'd have to go back and play it again. I enjoyed playing them originally because it was quite fun games kind of at the time, playing on the N64. But Breath of the Wild, I tried to get into it and just see what everyone was loving it for, and I just you were
the same as me. I did 10 maybe 12 hours of Breath of the Wild.
That's about the same
for
myself as well.
No.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, before we did this episode, I checked out Reddit and I wanted to see if there were any subreddits or threads that were talking about overrated games, and I found one, and a lot of the comments were Breath of the Wild. A lot of people think that's an overrated
one as well.
A lot of people were thinking that's an overrated game, and I'd agree. It didn't do a whole lot for me. I can appreciate that the fans of Zelda games, this probably was like an ultimate Zelda game to play, but.
Well, the dungeons are still terrible, which sucks because Zelda games are usually known for the dungeons, and this had the worst dungeons.
It's like they flip-flopped, yeah.
So it had the weakest dungeons, but the best kind of traversal and stuff like that, and that's where everyone really wanted Zelda to go, but they did mess up the dungeons. Although I doubt either of you even got as far as the dungeon.
Nope, I don't think I think it was surface for the whole thing, but no.
But I mean, the first time you chopped down a tree and used the wood to get over a massive gorge, did that not blow your mind?
Not really, no.
That was such a... There's so many great moments in Breath of the Wild when you just kind of figure something out.
Yeah,
and it's natural.
So I think that would have, if I could have given it more time, I think maybe I could have enjoyed that more. Yeah. But I think and I would have thought, and it's weird, and this is probably maybe a me problem, not so much a game problem. The idea that it just drops you there and it's like, just go.
Yeah, go
wherever you want.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person who enjoys being handheld in the video game, but it was quite large, and I was like, I don't think I'm in love with this character enough to just go on a really random adventure and just hope for the best. And it's maybe it's a thing that I need to. Daniel was on an episode, and I think I was complaining about Breath of the Wild at the time, and he actually gave me his copy of Tears of the Kingdom, I think, and he was like, "Okay, you should at least try give this one a go, because this one is all of the good things are better in this version." I never turned on to try it.
Every single almost every shrine has something nice, and well, not Breath of the Wild, because there's a few that repeat, like the challenge ones. We have to beat up a robot, but generally, like in Tears of the Kingdom, every shrine is somewhat unique or has this really cool little puzzle in there, and it's small. It's not like a dungeon in the original games. You know the way you go into a big dungeon and you can't figure out how to get in through that door, and you're going through all the other places in the dungeon trying to figure it out. Whereas in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because there is only one room, you're like, okay, the answer has to be in here. So it's generally you can figure it out in 5 to 10 minutes.
But saying everyone I'd heard talking about Breath of the Wild was completely singing its praises. Amazing game, mind blowing, absolutely fantastic. Combat's amazing, music is amazing, the story's amazing. Grant, the music is really good, enjoyed it. I just didn't see where all the hype was coming from. I was playing it. I was like, well, it's a game.
Game of the year. Do you know what I mean?
But everyone's stories about Breath of the Wild are unique to them. It's not like there's no shared. It's not like Final Fantasy where you're waiting for that cutscene and then you're like, oh my god, and then you ring up your mate.
Yeah.
Like everything in Breath of the Wild is organic and completely what happened in your game and your game alone, and you have to appreciate that for what it is. Otherwise you're just like, man, I could have seen that in another game, and that's true, but it wouldn't have happened so naturally. You wouldn't have been out in the field in a thunderstorm and then out of nowhere you and the enemy got blasted by lightning out of nowhere and you both died and you're like, oh my god, I had no idea this happened. Or you're in a dungeon and you need to move an electrical current, and then you just go, wait a minute, but there's nothing metal, hang on, my sword is metal, will that work? And it does work. Those moments are the absolute top
but that's
parts
the thing,
of
I
those
don't
games.
think I got enough of those moments when I was playing it. At least for the, I know it's not fair enough. I was playing it for maybe 8-10 hours kind of thing tops. But there was no point where kind of I came across any of those moments where it was like, oh, this is amazing. It's like, it's not bad. I mean, yeah. But nothing ever. I got to a point and I kind of just like put it down and then just never went back to it.
I could understand why people might think that game is overrated, but I think there was.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
But I loved it, but I could easily see how you wouldn't. If just those things just didn't happen in your playthrough,
then you're not
going
to
have a good time.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a bit of an oldie here for my one, and I'm going to go and say GoldenEye is an overrated game.
The original GoldenEye on the N64.
Yes, 1997 GoldenEye.
You ended with that? Wait a minute.
I got
Why
one more.
would you say that?
I got one more.
How dare you?
I just think I think the main.
First off, there's never ever to this day been a better video game adaptation of a movie, ever. And you think GoldenEye is overrated?
That's not necessarily a good point for a game. Just the fact that it's a
movie adaptation.
No, it's the best one of all time. That might even be the best video game of all time. But like,
it is certainly not the best video game
there's
of all time.
many things I could have said there, you know.
So one of my big problems with it is that people talk about over the years that I've been interested in video games, and we were big Perfect Dark players, Andrew, back when we were younger.
Well, if you're going to go Perfect Dark is better than GoldenEye, I agree.
So here's
but GoldenEye isn't over. Like GoldenEye might have a 94, 95 on Metacritic. It should have a 98, like, you know.
So the thing that I have a problem with GoldenEye, and why I think it's overrated, is that people, when still in comparison to Perfect Dark, people say, "Oh, but it was the first. It's still a superior game." Like that's bullshit. It's not a superior game.
I think,
and you look at different aspects of it. Like you have, and it is the full game is the storyline, which is the movie adaptation, and the multiplayer, which yes might have been an add-on, but it was great at the time for split screen, blah blah blah. But then you compare that to what came a couple of years afterwards. It's far superior. How can you say that this game, GoldenEye, is better than the likes of Perfect Dark 3 years later?
You completely took the wrong argument here. You should have said Perfect Dark is the most underrated game. So next week that should have been your game. But to blame GoldenEye for the success of Perfect Dark, that's completely unfair.
I think it
I see where you're coming from. It's like, but I think the difference is when you first started playing Perfect Dark, it was like with me, Graham, Kieran, and yourself. We've been playing it, but you hadn't played GoldenEye before that, had you?
I had.
Oh, had you?
Kieran had GoldenEye. We played GoldenEye before we played Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Perfect Dark is definitely way better than GoldenEye because it has everything GoldenEye has, but just does it better.
But when you like GoldenEye, you like it at the time. The reviews come out at the time. Like they don't. Perfect Dark doesn't come out 2 years later, and then everyone goes, "Oh shit, GoldenEye is actually way worse than we gave it."
No. I'm not. I'm talking about how in the conversation today, still. Oh, not maybe, but I would say still today. In that my years of being interested in video games, I've often seen people do retrospectives of certain things, and I'm watching YouTube videos, and still some people come out and say GoldenEye is the better game than the likes of Perfect Dark, or better than other first-person shooters that might be more modern and exist today. I'm like, that's bullshit. It was good for the time and a great movie video adaptation, but also I think that takes points away from it because the only thing that makes it good is the fact that it's based off a movie and not based off its own merit as a story.
But that is
itself.
not the only thing that makes it good. That just shows how they were able to take. It's like so in some instances there's only like a 10-second sequence in the movie and they make a whole level out of it and make all this extra stuff to go along with the plot somehow that isn't in the movie, so they have to make it bigger and better, and they do a great job of that at a time when storytelling didn't really happen in games. You know, like that was around the time of Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, this is my favorite video game of all time because of its story. Yeah. I look back on that story now with Rebirth, I'm like, there's fucking holes everywhere in this, like, you know? Whereas with GoldenEye, like, the fact that they were able to just go, oh crap, we need 20 levels. There's only really like 10 sequences in this whole, like,
in the movie.
What are we supposed to do? Like, you can't turn a 2-hour movie into a 20-hour game, but they did, and they did a great job.
I think they did a great job. I think it's overrated.
I think if you're picking your best video game of all time and someone chose GoldenEye, you could maybe scoff a little bit.
Yes.
But just for them saying like, oh, it's an amazing game, I think it's one of the best shooters there is, I think that's fully justified, and it is.
Like, I don't think it's one of the best shooters that there is. I think there's far superior shooters to GoldenEye that exist today.
So can I answer?
Of course, today.
But that's my argument.
But they're
based
off of GoldenEye's success. Like GoldenEye was like the first one of the first split screen multiplayers there is.
Yeah.
And at the time, all you had was maybe Doom and Duke Nukem. It's way better than both of those.
I wouldn't agree. I think that what they would do with the split screen was really good, but as a first person shooter, I don't think that it was better than even in terms of going back and playing. I'm like, God, it was so slidey and it wasn't in any way precise, and I didn't grab me the way I think it should. Whereas old Doom games, which I'm playing through the Doom series right now for when the episodes we're going to do, I'm kind of like, as a first person shooter, I think I get more fun out of let's say Doom, maybe not Doom 2, Doom 3 than I would have gotten out of GoldenEye.
I think GoldenEye set a lot of standards for what a multiplayer shooter should be, but I have to agree with you. I don't think it's all. I'm saying overrated. I fucking love GoldenEye. Let's just make a point. These are games that we don't hate these games. I'm a big fan of GoldenEye. I think it's overrated. Craig, what do you want to hit me with next before you give out?
I'm gonna hurt you for that one, Dan. I'm gonna change my answer now just for you. So let's go.
He's gonna pull Kingdom Hearts.
No, I'm gonna do two. I had one that I was gonna do, but I'm gonna kind of like an honourable mention because this is my final one.
Yeah.
I think how long is our episode?
Well, this will be our final ones.
Okay,
yeah.
Excellent. In the Kingdom Hearts series.
Fuck.
Now I don't like to badmouth games I don't play, but this one I did, and the one I did play was Dream Drop Distance.
Okay.
And this game, now I had only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, and I loved both those games.
Yeah.
But I had realized myself that the story was probably going haywire. Well, generally, a Japanese trait is that stories go crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And Dream Drop Distance was one of those games that I jumped into thinking, oh, here we go. Another Kingdom Hearts. This is going to be great. Like Kingdom Hearts 2 cost €60. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance also costs €60.
Okay.
In my mind, this game must be every bit as good. And you always know this with developers. I always feel like a tactic they use to make a game worse but get away with it is to not numerically number it. You know, if they call it Kingdom Hearts 3, it's shit. Metacritic, everyone tears it apart. But all you have to do to convince suckers is name it something slightly different, and then all of a sudden it can be shit, and people will go, "Oh, well, it wasn't Kingdom Hearts 3, so 9 out of 10." You know, like
I feel like a bit of a personal attack.
I am definitely attacking.
This does appear to be directed solely at you.
But not only that, they go, "Okay, let's introduce a second character, and rather than do a second half of the game, let's have the second character do everything that the first character did in those same worlds." So we pad out the entire game with the same game, but with a different character.
Can I just make a point just on a game that you really loved?
No, I'm talking about my game here, Darren.
But just in terms of
when we get to you can do your little
but
thing.
Fire Emblem Three Houses, did that not follow the exact same recipe? That you did the exact same things with
but you're only supposed to clear the game once. And it took 60 hours to do so.
Fair.
You know, nobody but me cleared it 3 times. Like, that was insane. But I was loving it so much that I wanted that. But that was optional. That isn't the main story.
So, just out of curiosity, because this is overrated games, did you think, is it your opinion that Dream Drop Distance was a highly rated
Well, now,
game?
if you look it up on Metascore, like, what are you going to find? If it's anything above a 6, then it's absolutely blasphemous. You know? Because not only that, but like even in the combat, and generally the combat in these games is quite easy, but if you put up the difficulty or you fought the Sephiroth boss, you're going to have a good time. But in Dream Drop Distance, they introduced this kind of rail system, and if you were anywhere near a wall or anything round, there would be a pop-up, and if you just pressed the button, you essentially just annihilated everything on the screen.
Do you want the score?
Go on.
75.
75.
Which I actually think is fair.
You think it's fair?
Yeah.
Because 75.
Listen, I'm a guy who's played the entire Kingdom Hearts catalog, and there are really bad games in there. And Dream Drop Distance had like the little spirit companions bullshit, didn't enjoy that. But from a story perspective and what you did and how fun the gameplay was and the quality of the cutscenes and how that actually, because this is all about the story of how Riku becomes a Keyblade Master, which is an integral part of the main overarching story. I actually think that 75 is a really fair score, and I think that
75 is a score because it's a handheld game and it's judged to a lower standard, and it doesn't have a number at the end of it, so people are like, "No, you drink that distance."
I'm one of those.
This was an honourable mention. This isn't my game.
All right, sorry, go for it. I want to
and it's based on very, very similar reasons. Crisis Core Reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of the big reasons I hate Crisis Core is because they've had to rewrite the original Final Fantasy VII to suit the stuff that went into Crisis. That's a big no-no for me. You do not change the original to suit a prequel.
Yeah.
A prequel falls in line because it did not come first. You have to convince us that you came first. It's not up to us to change the original to suit you. You know, that is massive for me.
Yeah.
But in Crisis Core Reunion, as I said many times, like Cloud or Zack meets Eric by falling through the church in the same way that Cloud does, and it's not referenced in the next game. And there's loads of these little things that just don't add up and don't make any sense. But you played Crisis Core Reunion, right?
I did, yeah.
How long do you think it took them to make that game?
I mean, I was impressed with the upgrade in terms of how the game looked. So I don't think it was a real quick fix, because I think they actually did take a bit of effort, because in the comparisons that you see of the PSP game, it is a huge upgrade.
Yes.
But
if it wasn't even an upgrade, it was a standalone game that came out there and now. Do you think it's a good game for today in 2024?
No, it's
do you
not.
think that's a good game?
No, but I don't think it's a good game for now. But it is a reskinned PlayStation Portable game, so it's not going to be good.
But it should be reviewed as though it's good. Like how
actually, I've just brought up
good there.
I've just brought up the score. How well do you think Reunion did?
I know exactly how well it did. I know it has a Metascore of 78%.
Yeah, which is crazy. It is crazy.
Did you know that Rebirth has a 92? Sorry. So the difference is 14% between a game that took 4 years to make, where they clearly threw hundreds of millions of euro at it to make it as good as they did. And like IGN gave them both an 8 out of 10.
Oh, Lord.
Fucking hell. IGN gave Reunion an 8 out of 10.
Sorry, IGN have Reunion 9 out of 10, but Crisis Core Reunion 8 out of 10.
So sorry,
so there's a
Rebirth
difference
9 out
of
of 10.
10. Do
Oh
you
my
think
God.
the difference between those two games is 10%?
No, not at all.
That reminds me of a couple of weeks ago when Colin gave Rebirth like a 3.5, and then I was like, really? So the same score as Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah.
And he just could not deal with that question because it made no sense, because he realizes that Hogwarts Legacy was a rubbish game and, like, you know, didn't have the efforts that this game had.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm going to criticize like the two games that, like, they're so opposite in terms of quality, yet someone thought, because it's not Final Fantasy VII, it's not a numbered game, it's Crisis Core Reunion. And not only that, but they took away the Reunion, so we lost Reunion for our third game.
Which was such because we've often talked about what did we think the third part of the Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy would be, and we said, well, it makes the most sense because it's all about a reunion, that you call it Reunion. And I was so disappointed that when they said the remaster of Crisis Core was going to be called Crisis Core Reunion, I said, that's such a stupid idea.
And
It doesn't deserve that.
I bet
that
someone
mantle.
just jumped in and called it that, not even asking the developers of the Rebirth series.
Yeah.
You know?
What have you guys got planned?
They just snuck it in there to get the little extra
I have
views.
zero arguments with that. You consider that an overrated game. I'm
Like-
with you 100%.
Crisis Core, well, first off, it shouldn't have never been made. And if it had been made, it should have not went against events that happened in 7. If you're a prequel, you cannot change events that happened in the original. It's just a no-no. You're not allowed.
Like, I always thought that, like, with Crisis Core, they should have done something like they did with Kingsglaive for FF15. Like, just make it into like a...
But they were doing lots of that. Like you have what's it called? It's not Last Stand, is it? What's the anime? They had a couple of other media things that were covering a little bit of the Zack story. So I guess them going and doing that again
But the
for Zack's a bit too much.
toxicity of all of this is that Zack now bleeds into the
Rebirth.
remake series, and he's a completely different character than he was in the original game. Like I said, in the original game, Zack is not a good dude. He's a bad guy, and he redeems himself. But because he's the main character of a PSP game, they can't make him a bad guy. They have to just make him a good guy. Yeah. So now he's a good guy in the OG game somehow, even though he wasn't. And now it's being polluted, and now he's stealing my fucking waifu in Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Like, it's not acceptable. And anyone who liked or bought Crisis Core, you're responsible for this toxic poison that's coming into Rebirth now.
I really enjoyed the PSP version, I have to say, when it came back in the day. But I enjoyed it for the fact that I was like, okay, cool, here's just a standalone story. But I'm with you. The whole idea that it seeped into the...
If they and because I heard the Rebirth sales aren't doing too well. And what if Crisis Core sold more? Can you imagine? Why even make Rebirth or a game of good quality?
Why bother doing that?
If you can get away with trash all the time.
And it's just a good time to mention, I haven't actually bought Rebirth yet.
Well, I
I feel
mean,
it's
I mean, that's
justified
fine.
anyway.
No.
It isn't for everyone.
it isn't for everyone.
No,
but it's,
I do want to
But
play
if
it,
you
just-
own Crisis Core and not Rebirth, then we have a problem.
No. If I saw Crisis Core in a bargain bin, I still wouldn't touch it.
Andrew, a final overrated game
Um,
from you.
Between two, I'd give an honourable mention, as I say, to Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's on my
Because-
list as well.
Yeah, because the whole Modern Warfare 3, I think, was the
Yeah,
thing.
which was just DLC essentially.
It's
that
just
they
the same thing.
repurposes
Just,
the
it's
full
literally
game.
just reskinning it as a new thing, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, you know how much I love like Black Ops and Call of Duty games like that. I played them to death, and we even played the first Warzone to death. Second one, same thing again. A few little extras. Third one, we just reskin the second one.
The problem with them is, I think, is that everyone gets hyped for them because they are the online of them is they are one of the pedigree online games in terms, but they are taking people for a ride now in terms of, oh yeah, we'll bring out another game, but we're gonna throw in a few reskinned old multiplayer levels because we don't want to make new
We
ones.
couldn't be arsed
They're
making
We're gonna
getting
new ones.
change
better
it.
though, aren't they? I mean, they used to have a new Call of Duty every year.
Oh, yeah, so
between
no, but
Treyarch and
this was the
Infinity
this was
or
the
The way it
whatever.
works is, I think it was Activision had one,
And then Treyarch.
Treyarch had the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
So-
one every year.
Yeah, so
between the two.
Activision released one, and then Treyarch. and then
No, they don't do that
Whereas
anymore.
now it's been a few years. You know,
Well,
now
no,
it's at least every 2 or 3.
Well, now,
Yeah,
now
but-
it's just the Warzone games, and also there is
No. This is the thing. Like, yes, you think, it's been 2 years since we had the last Call of Duty, so this one should be good. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Call of
Terrible.
Duty Modern Warfare 3, whatever one that came out was blasted. It was like, well, you guys have just taken, because loads of the assets in that game, in the main storyline and in the multiplayer, without going online, were assets completely ripped from the Warzone game, like buildings, rooms, all that kind of stuff. People were like, this is the fucking part of that Warzone map. I'm just in there in this main game, and you're charging me 70, 80,
Warzone was free
120
though,
quid.
wasn't it?
Warzone was free, yeah. Yeah, but this new Call of Duty, this mainline one. So yeah, I think, and it's the
I
problem.
assume the review scores are very high then, right?
Well, the more like the way this goes, yeah. But
I don't.
Because if universally people think that like Call of Duty is
I think like one
Not
and
as
two,
good as it
Warzone
is.
1 and 2 would have gotten good ones. I don't imagine the third one got over 75. I would be disgusted if it did.
Well, no, here you go. This is it. Modern Warfare 3, the one that I'm lambasting, that is
Yeah.
a problematic 75, which is too high. It's
It
too
is
high.
too high. Yeah. No, that's
So we can call that one overrated. Yeah,
definitely.
there we go. Yeah.
for sure.
I have no problem there. I just an honorable mentions as well. I just flicked. Flicked the FIFA series into there for the same reason as Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Just like people still love it, and I
Reskins.
just don't know why. That was your honorable mention. What's your actual?
My honorable mention, my main one would be Elden Ring.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I didn't have the balls.
Chris
to
is
vote.
not
Chris is
not going to
gonna
like this
that.
at all. And no, like I played it, I enjoyed it, but the way everyone goes on about it, and like it's groundbreaking, it does this, does that, like it's just a bigger version of Bloodborne. The way I'm playing.
Well,
it.
it's
Like,
the same makers, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's-
it's
people-
but like
yeah.
it's I don't.
But I don't like any of those games. But because I haven't played them, I would never put them on the list because I feel that would be.
No, yeah, no. This is the
Big
thing.
head of
I've
me.
played it, and I've played it quite a bit, kind of thing. But I mean, it's a good game, but I don't think it.
But ultimately, it is attack dodge roll, isn't it?
Oh,
Like,
100%,
That's
yeah,
all
yeah,
that is. That's
yeah.
all I ever see anyone do whenever I
Chris,
watch
when he's
people
listening
play
to
that.
this, he's gonna be
Like, there's
steam
no-
coming out his
It's
ears.
It's not like
Keep
Devil May
grinding from
Cry
here.
or like one of those games where there's loads of moves you can hit
No.
them with. It's pretty much you have an attack button, you have a potion, and you have roll. Like that's all that seems to happen.
The one thing I will say in Elden Ring's defense is that like it's a 96 on Metacritic. It won Game of the Year that year. There was a huge amount of hype surrounding that game, and it was in development and behind the scenes and real hush hush for a long time. And I think across, for the most part, I think they really delivered, which is rare. Unfortunately, these days for big AAA studios to actually do that and do it in a way that really serves the consumers.
Once you have a good solid amount of enemies with different animations, you're golden. Like, and I think Elden Ring had lots of that. So I'd imagine that's
Elden
one
Ring
of the
had
bigger
a
reasons.
lot of different enemies and a lot of different environments in which to fight the enemies, which always made it seem different. And like I again, like the rest of the games, I enjoyed playing Elden Ring. It's a good game. I just don't think the level of hype behind it was warranted. But that's just
Breath of the Wild, Elden Ring. Jeez, you're going after the game of the year each time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, someone's got to throw in the ones that's going to get him punched. So,
Well,
I suppose when you're at the very, very
what
top,
did you
it
start
is
with? What? I mean,
a 2D Mario. But I excluded the good ones.
He excluded 2 of the highly rated games ever of all time, which was a wise move on his part, in fairness. Like, anything else you want to say in it, Andrew, or shall I finish us off?
no, finish us off there, by all means.
I've also picked a game of the year. Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
Overrated.
no.
I don't know. Apparently, because Tears of the Kingdom was my game of the year, but Baldur's Gate 3 was definitely number 2. And I'd say for the first 100 hours of Baldur's Gate 3, I loved it. And then I started to change my opinion of it.
Mm-hmm.
But those 100 hours, I was loving it for those 100 hours. And then I'm kind of like, oh, my choices don't actually matter as much as I thought they were. Or there's a glitch happening here. I don't know where the quest is going.
And so into my point in that, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is a fantastic game. Let's just make that, just in case anyone listening is like, fuck that guy. It's like, no, I loved Baldur's Gate 3, but I do think it's overrated. One of the conversations you and me, Craig, had about Baldur's Gate 3 versus Tears of the Kingdom when it came to the game of the year is that I don't actually think it's fair that a game that is full of bugs and problems is a game of the year winner or contender. Baldur's Gate 3 was not a perfectly put together game. I mean, and you can say, oh, it's so massive and it came out and it didn't have that many issues. And like,
but it has numerous broken quests that can't be finished.
Numerous broken quests. And it was in development, in early access for years prior. I played Baldur's Gate 3 on the Google Stadia 3 years ago. They had and listen, again, I don't mean to be overly critical of Iron Studios. They did a fantastic job at Baldur's Gate 3. It was a worthy nomination, and I do think a worthy winner. I think Tears of the Kingdom is not my kind of game, but when I look at the idea of, I don't like to promote the idea that we would give the highest award to a video game for a game that is essentially broken in parts, because it's like, I don't want to pay money for a broken game. These things should be fixed. And I know with development of video games, it's harder to create a game of that scale without it having problems. I get that. But what really tipped me over the edge for this one was when we did me and Luke and Chris, and I think I gave you the list as well, Craig. We were in yours talking about it. The list of the BAFTAs. BAFTA interviewed 4,000 video gamers, and they asked them what the most iconic video game characters of all time were. 2 of Baldur's Gate 3 characters made that list.
Was Astarion one of them?
Astarion and Shadowheart.
But this is just people off the street who probably thought about it for about 10 seconds. So they're going to think
in their mind of
what was the most recent game I played? Oh, Baldur's great. Astarion, he was great.
But for me, and like if someone caught me off the street and someone said, and I played Baldur's Gate 3 and I loved it, and someone said, Darren, name me 10 iconic video game characters. No one from Baldur's Gate 3 is getting in there.
We're on a video game podcast. Like, we talk about video games way more than the average Joe.
You have to remember as well, like a lot of people, especially people who play D&D who may not have actually played video games before, saw this came out there straight away. That's the game they want to play. They may not have played games before that, and that will be the card sticking their head, because Astarion is very much in your face the entire time. He's a flamboyant character.
He's not an iconic video game. He's great.
No,
he's a great character.
Not iconic, but you will have people, and think about, like, we play D&D. Think about the amount of people who came from D&D to play Baldur's Gate, and then that will just be their characters. The ones who are most memorable would be Astarion and maybe Shadowheart, but
she made the list too.
Well, in my mind, if you ask the same question to the same people in 5 years, I don't think any of them would say Astarion. I think it's because it's this year.
But it's also why I think it's overrated. That people would like that. People are. It's that hyped that people in a conversation being asked about the most iconic video games of all time, people would actually mention these characters. I'm like, no, it's not that good a game. Those characters aren't that great. I mean, they're fantastic, but like it's just in the same way that I think like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII in the Rebirth, whatever, he's a fantastic character. I don't think he's iconic.
No, not at all.
No. You know, but these
dialogue is still overall kind of bad.
These side characters in Baldur's Gate 3 are like, you know, like, oh, we're so hyped with this fucking game. Iconic. We love this game. Game of the year, blah, blah. I'm like, it's a great game. And part of me definitely thinks it deserved Game of the Year. I think it's an overrated game.
Yeah.
I don't think...
What's its Metascore?
Its Metascore's 97.
Yeah, that's way too high. It should not be near 97. So yeah, you're completely legit with that.
I won't agree with that one, but you know what I voted for pretty much every award to win in the Game Awards.
What was it?
Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely love the game, and I mean from going from D&D to playing that game, having played Divinity as well, like it ticked literally every box I wanted it to tick. And like,
Except inventory management.
Oh, inventory management.
You
was
lose
an
more
absolute
than
horror.
half your life in there.
No, I nearly pull my hair out trying to figure out.
And
inventory.
I am a bit OCD about that kind of stuff. So that actually genuinely took away. That was so difficult to have
The fact
organized.
that your quest items could sometimes just get stuck
Buried.
in those random keychains would fucking infuriate me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know? Oh, man.
yeah. Overrated. Well, guys, that's it for an overrated episode of the Gift of Gaming podcast. If you've got any overrated games that didn't make our list and you think are definitely overrated, email me and the gang at the Gift of Gaming podcast at gmail.com. And if you're interested in more content, we're going to sit around for the next 10 15 minutes and talk about the next round of our Battle Royale. We'll decide who's going against who and go from there. If you want to find that, it's on patreon.com/Gift of Gaming. And for the price of a coffee a month, there's a plethora of... What's the when you have a platter of things?
I was just about to say you're doing so well.
Smorgasbord. There is a smorgasbord of content on the I brought it back content on the Patreon you can check out there. Craig, Andrew, thank you so much for joining me, and to our listeners, as always and forever, keep enjoying the gift that is gaming. Peace out.